Hong is tasked with building a portfolio that can hold its own against longtime giants such as ESPN and CBS Sports. We sat down with Hong to discuss Versant's unique sports strategy and why he believes the company can win in an increasingly crowded marketplace. What is the Versant sports strategy?
I would say it's a couple things. I mean, one is we will continue to be active for top shelf, top tier sports programming. That's our current core business, and we'll continue to invest in our core business. But we'll also invest in growth of our digital properties, so organic growth of digital properties like the ones we have in golf with Golf Now and Golf Pass. And then I think we also have to be assertive about investing inorganically and doing M&A with businesses that are synergistic to our linear properties.
You mentioned competing for top-tier sports assets. That's been doable as part of NBC Universal, big balance sheet. Are you concerned that as a smaller company, it will be more difficult to compete against the big giants in the room for those top-tier rights?
I mean, if you look at the rights that we currently have just at Versant, so across USA Network and Golf Channel, we have a wide variety of top-tier programming that crosses almost every geography and every demo that we could possibly want. We've got NASCAR, we've got the PGA Tour, we've got the USGA, we've got the RNA, we've got WNBA and WWE. We have programming that I think is competitive with most networks out there. I like what we have, and we'll continue to be competitive going forward.
Is there a need for broader scale, either through investing in more rights beyond the current portfolio or potentially merging with an entity that has sports rights?
I don't know that we will merge with an entity that has sports rights, only because, you know, we have plenty of programming to help drive our linear business, and I think the future will be inorganic acquisitions which help diversify our revenue streams. And so it'll really be continue to invest in our core linear business and then looking for inorganic opportunities that complement that linear business.
What gives you confidence that Versant will succeed as a publicly traded company? Because look, let me lay out the devil's advocate point of view, which is that this collection of assets is a set of declining linear TV assets that the market has already weighed in on as an anchor on publicly traded companies. So if you spin this thing off, and there's a hodgepodge of digital assets that go with it, to be fair, why would an investor be excited about putting their money in this company?
I mean, I think we have a strong business. We have $7 billion in annual revenue and healthy free cash flow. I also think that the reason why people tune into linear television are assets like exist at CNBC. We've got strong news assets, and we've got, you know, strong sports assets that I'm particularly partial to. And I think that provides us with a runway to look at how we can evolve this business through inorganic growth, and I think that'll be a focus for our company. For us in the sports division, that'll be a focus, and I think for our entire company, that will be a focus going.
Since we don't exactly know what that inorganic growth is at this point, some things potentially that Versant can do organically, do you foresee sports bleeding onto other cable networks that perhaps NBC hasn't done? So obviously there's Golf Channel, that's part of Versant. There's some sports on USA, but CNBC is potentially a home for them. There are several other cable networks. Is that a possibility?
We already see sports on CNBC, as we were talking off camera about. That will continue to be a strategy. And I think the other thing we talked about is there's a lot of synergy between some of the networks, or many of the networks that we have at Versant, probably most notably Golf Channel and CNBC. So I think there's opportunities to do all sorts of programming back and forth between the networks, because there is such demographic and psychographic crossover between them.
Will the Olympics coverage change at all now that Versant exists as a separately traded company?
So, you know, the pledge that leadership at Versant as well as NBC Sports made is that from a viewer's standpoint, where you watched properties like the Olympics or NASCAR a year before the spin is where you'll continue to watch them a year after the spin. So there will still be Olympics programming that is managed by our colleagues at NBC Sports that does show up on USA and does show up on CNBC. just like there will be NASCAR programming that is managed by our team here at Versant that will air on NBC, the NBC over-the-air network going forward. Where you watch things before is where you'll continue to see them or watch them going forward.
What makes you excited about the job?
I mean, I think it's this wonderful inflection point where we've got this strong core business, but that we know there are challenges too. And so it's sort of our opportunity to control our own destiny, figure out how we're going to grow this business and evolve this business. We get to sort of pick our team of people that join Versant as, you know, at the beginning here. We're very well funded. We've got healthy revenue, a strong balance sheet, a lot of free cash flow. So it's really a unique opportunity, you know, in the history of a linear television company, this inflection point to figure out, you know, how we're going to grow this company and how to control our own destiny going forward.
Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.